Hi, welcome along everyone today. It's scorching weather this week, really hot here in the UK, and I've had a few emails through about radiators that are not cooling down. It's usually the ones in the bedroom, and it seems that some kind of convected heat is still getting through to the radiator and warming it up. They're not red hot or anything, but they are warm and producing heat that you really don't want on these scorching days when we finally get them like we have right now. So what's the problem? Okay, let's have a look at this one. So a lot of you will have thermostatic radiator valves, and sure enough you think if I just turn the thing off like so, that would be it. Now it should be, but unfortunately not all of these type of valves shut off completely. There may be just a tiny little gap where unfortunately some of the heat is going to get through and heat that rad up. Now what to do about this one is literally to shut the other end off. Now if you haven't got one of these valves and you've got an ordinary turn valve, then you may find even though you turn that valve off, some heat is getting through, and it could be because the valve doesn't quite shut off properly. But in this instance we're showing a thermostatic valve, so what we're going to do is turn the lock shield off end, which is at the other end of the radiator. We're going to turn that one off as well. So this particular lock shield, well it's an ordinary rad valve. Don't worry about this little drain valve on the end, it's just a particular type. But normally we'll have either a screw in here, you'll have to undo first, or it may just be a pull off one like so. This is more of a turn valve. I've stuck that on just because I like to adjust it as much as I can when I want to. Now before you go turning this off, do remember the amount of turns that you've turned it. Now I'm using pliers, but a small spanner is probably best to turn these with. Okay, but what you've got to do is turn it and remember the amount of turns you've given it, and that's one full turn. Okay, so you've got to remember that. That's 1.5, and that's 2 turns. 2.5, 3, 3.5. 4, 4.5, nearly 5. Okay, 4 3/4. Why you've got to remember that is because when you turn it back on, to keep the system balanced right, you must turn it on the same amount when you need the rad back working again. Now once this is off, it should stop any of that convection heat coming through, and if that other valve at the other end is letting a little bit by, then you should be double protected by having both valves off. Now I do know sometimes, especially say upstairs rads, they do convect heat on conventional heating systems, and the heat does travel along a pipe that goes under the floor, and even though you've not got central heating on, a little bit of that heat from the three-way valve gets up there and starts to warm these rads up. Now you may still find a fraction still does get through, not because the valve's letting by, but simply because the pipe's hot underneath and it's just literally passing that heat up still. Now at very worst I've seen people actually disconnect the radiator. Yes, that if you're really desperate, you know, the only other answer is to literally disconnect it, undo the air valve, collect the water in a little dish because the rad will be off, tip it all out, and literally have an empty radiator. Now that's drastic action. Okay, don't normally recommend that. Usually this does do the trick, but I've had that happen in a house before where even though I'd shut both ends off, the heat from the pipe underneath of the valve was getting by and it was just warming the rad still, just through heat that was just travelling through. So normally this does the trick though, so it's worth doing. And say don't forget to turn on the same amount of turns when you need the rad back working again. Okay, there you are. Well, I hope that helps you out a little bit in this hot weather. I know it's unusual, but maybe this is something we're going to get a lot more of in next lot of summers coming up because of this global warming. Who knows? But we do know at the moment, if you're up in London, the southeast, right at the moment, it is really, really hot. And you don't need any extra heat to be added to what we're already getting, do we? Okay, that's about it though. Just a little snippet I thought I'd pass through to you. Hope it helps. All my stuff, you know where to go. Derek and 33. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.